Hello, and this is the Warpforge with a 40k rambling. Yep, it's that time again. 7th edition and its FAQs. Personally, my thoughts on 7th edition is that I welcome it, but I'm also still on the fence about it. I am literally just going to wait till how it pans out, because it's just been released and there's still some releases to go, so I'm literally just going to wait and see what happens with this edition. I want to say that I like it, but at the same time I have to be on the fence, because I said the same thing for 6th edition. I said that I was going to say I liked it, I liked all the options it gave you, it could be a fun game. And to me, 6th edition went in the way of the 3rd season of Game of Thrones. It started off at the beginning, lots of options, the routes were set, the stage was set onto the series or onto the rest of the game. I enjoyed what I saw. It seemed like a new page, it seemed refreshing, it seemed like I could do more with fluff to interact with the game. I was excited for it. The middle section came, the plot twists. Yes, all the plot twists came, and in 6th edition, the Tau Codex and the Eldar Codex came. Whew, and the Tau Codex, honestly, I thought it was balanced. However, and I don't really want to be critical when I say it, but the new Tau Codex is just Tau, well, it's Codex Markerite spam really, or Farsight Enclaves. And when I say that, I think a lot of the moaning and whining that you get on the internet isn't due to the Tau themselves and their shooting capabilities, it's due to the Markerites. And I'm not saying this as this is a problem for me, because this isn't. For me, Markerites are just part of the Tau Codex. I have other grudges against the Codex, as do other people who have grudges against my Chaos Marines of Eldrakes. But honestly, with Tau, it really is half the stuff that people don't dislike isn't from the Tau themselves, but from the Markerites. But I personally like Tau. Then the Eldar Codex was released, and the Eldar, well, where to start with the Eldar? I like the idea that they were a very coherent and synergetic force. I think that's what they should be aiming for every codex to be. However, this doesn't happen with Games Workshop. The consistency for synergy between codexes isn't as consistent as I would like it to be. Meaning that some armies aren't as well synergized as the Eldar. In turn, the Eldar got a lot of flack because they had better synergy than others. That plus psychic powers of twin linking everything and Bladestorm, basically. But honestly, the Eldar Codex came and Wave Serpents came, and the way I look at Wave Serpents is, if they took the Bladestorm rule away, would you have half as people complaining? No, you wouldn't. And honestly, I don't believe Bladestorm was a necessary rule, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, we did get all the hectic moments in the middle, with all the plot twists in the form of the Tau Codex arriving and the Eldar Codex. However, I was still trying to say that everything was balanced, everything could go either way. And then you got to the ending, in which case it revealed its true colours for who it really was. And in Game of Thrones, this was reflected with the Red Wedding, which I can't discuss any further because of spoiler alerts, and as we all know, Game of Thrones is just too good to be spoiled. So yeah, that happened, and in reflection to 6th edition, well, we got Escalation and Stronghold Assault. Stronghold Assault, we got the Void Shield Generator, which there was very much controversy over it. Then there was Imperial Knight Titans, which was further controversy over. However, the one thing that most people on the internet, as well as social groups, agree on was escalation with one unit of the Reverend Titan. That changed 6th edition and revealed its true face. Why? Because it could move 36 inches with 2 strength D weapons. And then you've got all the Death Stars, Baron Star, Jetseer Council, Screamer Star. You got... I'm sure there was one more that I can't remember at this point in time. You had Helldrake Spam, you had Riptide Spam, you had Farsight Enclaves, you had the Farsight Bomb, that's what it was. You had the Buffmander from the Tau. You had all these sorts of Death Stars, and most people just looked at the game and decided to quit or just leave. So kinda people got grovelly over that, which was expected. It's fine to say that. Not many people did like that at all. And that was the same in terms of the Red Wedding. Most people didn't like the Red Wedding. And then we have the climactic 7th edition, which should be, hopefully, a new slate. And for me, I'm on the fence about it. I want to welcome it. I want to welcome it with open arms. However, it hasn't personally reached personal satisfaction. And that's only because I wanted 2 things to change in the 7th edition rulebook. And that was the first one, which was Glance and Hits changed to something else. I don't care what it was, as long as it changed to not getting rid of hull points as easy as it should do. And that's only because with vehicles now, and they've still kept it in for 7th edition, the problem is people don't go for penetration hits anymore. The table's now expanded to a 7 where 7 explodes. That's fair enough, it's hard to do one-shot explodes on it anymore. However, people don't look for penetration hits anymore, they look for glances, they look for volume of shots that they want to glance with, because glancing to death with vehicles is easier than penetrating them. Yeah, sure, if you penetrate you'll take off a hull point and have a nice effect, but why have that when you could just glance it to death and get first blood for something anyway? Which was another problem with 6, was first blood, but it wasn't as bad as some of the other problems that 6th edition suffered. Anyway, back to 7th edition before I digress. I like the idea of the psychic phase, and I think they've put more thought into that than they had with the next change, which I wanted to change but didn't, which was they basically took it from fantasy and they did think about it and remoulded it in the style of 40k, which I like. And I like that because I'm a fan of Tzeentch. I just haven't played with full Tzeentch Force because I'm wanting to wait for a plastic kit for Thousand Suns. I do have Iron Man already, and he's a Mastery Level 4 Psyker, so I want to bring him around one day to play with him for a bit. But, alas, I digress. I find the Psychic phase very nice, very refreshing for 40k. So I'm personally liking it. However, we do have the downside of the power dice, which is the Tzeentch demon list of 30 power dice. And to me, when I hear that, I can hear, yeah, there are going to be a shed ton of benefits, but I have only really one thing to say to it, and that's really just good luck with perils. Basically, you're going to be rolling a shed ton of dice, yes. How long before you kill every single Psyker in your army, though? With that many dice comes that many perils. Just remember that. At the moment, so that was meant to be a day one break the game. However, I'm just going to say watch this space, sit on the fence like I am, and just wait to see how it all pans out, because some things could get a lot stronger with other releases. You never know. So there's that, and there's the second change that I wanted, which was random charge distances. They took fixed charge distances away and replaced them with random charge distances, which I didn't like, because this was quite literally copy and pasted. It wasn't remolded at all, just copy and pasted from Fantasy into 40k, which I don't like. Mainly because it works in Fantasy, because you have a fixed movement range and then you have the random charge distance. So it all added together, and with certain units like cavalry you had movement of 8, which was 8 inches plus 2d6. With infantry you could get 4, like the movement was minimum usually 4 to 6 inches in infantry, so you had 4 to 6 inches plus 2d6. So it was always sort of a safeguard to know if you were going to make it in or not. You could also pre-measure, which you can with 40k, but as I've said, I'll go into detail a bit just now, and it doesn't quite work as well with 40k because you don't have that movement characteristic. You don't have that movement characteristic, which in turn hurts a lot of assault armies, restricting them a lot, which I personally don't like. I wish they brought back fixed charge distances, because I like that. I like knowing if I was going to be in or not. Pre-measuring still exists, but personally I don't really like pre-measuring for charge distances, because it's either going to be 6 inches or it's going to be very hard to get, and that's how I've always viewed the random charge distance for 40k, as I've learned from experience. What I can say is, with 7th edition now, I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to wait and see what happens. In terms of this channel, you will be seeing 7th edition battle reports. I'm personally keen to get stuck into the rules, and I'm personally keen for the orcs coming next month. I cannot wait for these orcs. I saw the Gorkanaut, or possibly Morkanaut, and my initial reaction was, that's cool. The only bit I don't like is the legs, but then again, I'm just going to glue 2 Land Raider tracks onto the side, because we're orcs and we can do that. So yeah, you are going to see a lot more orc battle reports when I get that new orc codex. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm giddy. I like that. So yeah, I'm going to play a lot more orcs, and hopefully I am going to enjoy 7th edition a lot more than I have with 6th. So long live 6th edition, but roll on 7th edition, because personally I can't wait to play some games and get away from 6th edition and start with a new, fresh, open-minded slate. And that's the stance I'm going for. I'm just going to be open-minded and just see what happens. So this was quite a long rant. I'll rant a bit of a moan, I'll admit, but hopefully you can understand my points and where I'm coming from. This is the Warpforge with a 40k rambling. If you like what you heard, and if you like what you saw, just click a subscribe, give it a like. If you want to discuss anything, just put in a comment, because I love discussing with you guys out there. So thanks for watching. I know it's been long and maybe a bit tedious at times, which I do apologise for, but hopefully, I hope the majority of you have enjoyed watching it. This is the Warpforge, signing off, and remember, keep on forging.